and welcome to John's session of the technologies that we use during our research, planning, production, and evaluation stages, as well as how they helped us during our research, planning, and evaluation, as well as production stage. So, what is the first piece of equipment that we used, you may ask? Well, it is a boom pole. Now, as we mentioned in our planning stage, this boom pole is something that we will use to help record the sound in the interviews. Overall, we were successfully able to use this piece of equipment to record the sound of our two main interviewees. This is because during the first interview, I went alone and I had planned to use this. However, I had mistakenly forgotten the shotgun mic. And you can't use a boom pole without the shotgun mic. So, I should have made sure that I checked all the equipment before I went. However, we were able to progress to the other two interviews and successfully able to record good quality sound. Thankfully, in the first interview where I forgot this glorifying piece of equipment, the H4n was able to produce good quality sound and there wasn't too much background noise or ambient sound, so it was still able to be good quality. So overall, this really helped us in our production stage because it enabled us to record good quality and clear sound, which is very important for our production because their input of the interviewees was really needed for our production because it's the main piece of advice that we're giving our audience. It's also important that the sound that we use or the sound that we got was high quality because it's very conventional for a documentary and for film and to make it more cinematic, even though our production didn't really end up looking super cinematic. But overall, this was able to help us, and it really did in terms of holding the mic. Because the microphone was the one that did all the job of getting the good quality sound, the shotgun mic with the H4n. But this one allowed us to extend it far away so we could record the interviewee while standing this far. As you can see, I am far from the camera, but this guy is still there. So we were able to put I was able to stand all the way where I am now and still get the mic close to the interviewee. So this was very, very, very useful for our production. Yeah, so that's how it helped us in our production because during the research and planning, we didn't really need to use the boom pole as the quality of the sound was not as important as our main production. Because if the sound of our main production was not high of a good standard and very clear, it wouldn't be very conventional. So our next item, it is what is it? Obviously the shotgun mic. Yay! Now I kind of explained a lot about the shotgun mic previously. So we were able to use the shotgun mic for interviews, and we had originally intended to use this as well for our Vox Pop, but as you can see from our production, we didn't have enough time, and especially since one of my group mates was not 100%, she wasn't in school, she was very ill, we didn't have time to refilm the Vox Pop footage and even get the footage. So I ended up just asking family and friends or people who I knew to send in videos of them saying what makes them happy. So we could have improved and it would have even been more conventional if we did get Vox Pop, but because of the situation, it was very hard for us to do it. Back to the shotgun mic. So the shotgun mic is what we used to record the sound for our production. This is the one that would pick up the sound and it would go into the H4n, which would record the sound. So this high quality microphone was very helpful for our main production because it really allowed us to record good quality and high quality sound without having to use a recording studio, because it's unconventional for a documentary if the interviews are pre-recorded and they're just dubbed. So we wanted to ensure that it's the right situation, and it would have been impossible for us to actually get and conduct the interviews in the recording studio. So the shotgun mic was very, very, very helpful for our production. And the fact that the shotgun mic was held in this boom pole allowed us to be able to record sound from far away. Although the shotgun mic was very useful for production and allowed us to record high quality sound, we should have used a lapel, because a lapel would have been much closer to the person speaking, and it's also more practical. It would have been more practical for me, especially in the first interview when I went alone. Instead of having to worry about the shotgun mic, I could have just had to bring the lapel mic with the H4n. So I think that's something that we should have considered using instead of the shotgun mic. And the H4n sound would have also been like closer, so it would have been much clearer and louder. Even though, and because we could easily adjust that loudness in our actual in the editing stage, so the post-production. So I think we should have used a lapel mic or considered using it. And we also should have experimented, so we should have tried out the difference between the shotgun mic and the lapel and seen which one was better. So I think that although this was able to help us record good quality and high quality sound, we should have considered and used the H4n. So that's basically how this helped us in our production. So as you can see, it was able to help, but we think we should have gone another route. In order to connect the shotgun mic to the H4n, we had to use the XLR cable. So the XLR cable is something that we used, as you can see, to connect, well not see, as I've told you, to connect this shotgun mic to the H4n. You connect one side of the XLR cable to the end of the microphone, so there. And now, as you can see, the cable is connected. Now the XLR cable was mainly used so that we could be standing from a distance from the actual interviewee, so we wouldn't be in the shot, and so that the microphone wouldn't be in the shot. So this allowed us to be able to use the boom pole effectively, because we could initially be standing here and the mic being there and still recording sound through this XLR cable. So the XLR cable was very useful for our production stage, because we didn't really need it for like the other stages of our production, so like the evaluation or the planning, because we didn't really have to record that high quality sound that we did need for our production to make it more industry standard. So that's why the shotgun mic was very important, because it allowed us to have industry standard sound quality. So without the XLR cable, we would not have been able to be standing away from the interviewee and still record good sound. So overall, this has been very helpful. Now, going on to the next, and probably one of the most important, this right here is the H4n. Now, as I kept mentioning over and over, you can finally see it. It's the H4n. Now, this amazing and super useful piece of equipment is something that helped us record a high quality sound. Now, although this was how we picked up the sound, this piece of equipment was how we recorded the sound. And without this, we could not have recorded the sound for our production. Now, we had planned, as I said, to use this H4n as well to record vox pops, but we weren't able to record the vox pops. So this allowed us to record high quality sound for our main production, for the interviews with the professional interviewees. Now, the reason why we didn't use the H4n for our radio advert or the Voice of God is because, as I mentioned in the recording studio video, the recording studio was much better because it prevented the echoey sound that the H4n tends to have, and the recording studio allowed for more isolation, so the sound would be better. So we decided not to use the H4n, and that was a very good decision of me, because without it, we would not have been able to use the shotgun mic effectively, because how can you record sound without a recording device? So to use this H4n, all we did was we connected this other end of the XLR cable to one input here. So it's like this, right? We turned it on, so the on button is here. Okay, so we turned it on. Now it's coming on now. So as you can see that. Not really, so basically, yeah, this is the H4n. And this allowed us to record the industry standard audio for our production and enabled us to ensure that our interview clips was recorded of a high quality. Now, luckily, in the first interview, I had the H4n, so I was able to record the sound, because without this, I don't know what I would have done, because the quality of the camera sound was not good. So luckily, I did not forget this. Although in the next few interviews, we were able to, I learned, so I made sure that we had all the important pieces of equipment like this. This is one of the most important pieces of equipment that we needed for our production. So this was able to help us in our production because it helped us record the high quality audio. Now there's the card in here, so it records the card, we put the card in the computer, and then we transfer the audio files into Final Cut Pro. And that's how we use the H4n. However, on the second interview, something went wrong with the H4n. It said that the card was full. So we were halfway, not even halfway, we had just started our interview, and this H4n said memory card full. So we were very, very fortunate that our interviewee had known how to clear the card out. So he was able to help us reformat the card and then record and do the interview again. So we were very, very lucky in that sense. So we should have really made sure before we took it out, before we went to the interview, that everything was okay and good, because that's very unprofessional of us. So, but we were lucky enough that he understood it. So that's something we should have made sure we did. But yeah, so this is very, very important for our production.